Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Nicole Juergens.
Michael Moore.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. And welcome to all of our viewers to Highly Uncircumcised. We promised last week we are going to get into survival skills for the impending zombie apocalypse.
It's coming.
Because when the vaccination turns everybody into zombies.
I was just thinking that, but I was like, I'm not going to say it because I don't want this episode to get taken down.
That was the beginning of I Am Legend, right? Like, we have cured cancer. They're like, oh, really? You did, right? You remember that? Right?
And
she's like, it was, the shot. They're like, how many people were in the trial with cancer? 10,900 people were in the trial with cancer. And how many are cancer free? 10,900. So you've cured cancer. Yes. Dun, dun, dun. A year later, the world is dead. Dead. Science.
If the vaccine is going to turn people into zombies, I'm
you're
literally on the
already
cusp.
dead. You're already dead. So,
Have
but
been ready,
I, however, shall survive. So I have to learn how to kill you because it's going to happen. So
I'm literally going to gather 10 other zombies and come straight to your home. One of us will get you. I don't know which one. And I figure you'd probably shoot me first out of mercy, right? But yeah, one of my guys is going to get you.
So we need to focus on survivals because we started talking about this last time. And I don't think it would hurt anyways if we all actually understood the undertaking it took to actually survive on our own without general comforts of food, water, shelter. The idea that you have to actually find all of that. Did you see, I saw this, it was a show and I think it's called Alone. It might be on Disney or Discovery or something. And I had it in the background while I was working one day, and they dropped these people off, and I want to say it's different parts of way northern Canada. And it was all on one kind of island area or one area of the coastline, but they were all at least 5 miles apart. But literally, so the point was of these 8 dudes, and they were all dudes, whoever makes it the longest on their own gets $500,000 because $500,000, right? First of all, I would probably need $1 million.
For how long?
You know my line as whoever makes it the longest. So it could be a week, it could be a year. You don't know, whoever, however the group in the group.
$500,000 is not enough for a year.
Exactly, right? Though, considering what we're talking about is how weak sauce we are, that nobody's making it a year in this day and age. What was interesting, and I don't want to make fun of this guy, but literally the one guy just gets there and doesn't even make it a night. He's like, I don't know why I'm not doing this. This is too hard. Why? This is not worth it. Yeah, that would be you. You would get off the plane. You're like, oh, hell no, get me back on that plane. Get me back on that plane.
Where's the Chinese food at?
One guy didn't make it one. I mean, a lot of them. And it's a lot of being alone, right? I think it's a lot more, it's just surviving. But I think on top of that, the harder part, I think, is the isolation, is just having nobody at all times. Nobody. You're just completely alone, having to find your shelter, your food, your water, everything. But on top of that, there's nobody there with you. And I think most of them succumbed to the isolation more than anything. Because these guys, they signed up for the show, so they understood basic survival skills, right? They understood how to make a fire and I think they could bring 10 things. So they could bring matches, maybe. I didn't watch enough of it, but they could bring 10 things. So they could bring a knife, they could bring a tent, they could bring whatever. But this place also there was a lot of wildlife. This is uninhabited area. There's a lot of bears. There's, one guy left because he was scared of the bears that were by a lot. So I don't know. I am intrigued to know what I would do. And first of all, right now, I would not make it 1 minute, let alone one day. I don't know anything. So that's why I would like to, we got to learn some survival skills. Like,
Yeah, but who in the world is going to be able to survive with bears and all you have is a knife?
you don't have, I don't think that, I think we think that, just because you're by a bear, it's going to kill you. And in prevalence of a ton of other food, I don't think they're trying to come and attack you. I think the only time they really would try anything is if they're starving, right? This isn't a place where they're starving. They're by open water. They got salmon. They got other, they're not. I think that more than anything, perhaps they'd be curious and to get close at all. Otherwise, they'd probably stay away from you. I don't,
Actually,
we have this idea that we think that they're just going to be up, in your face trying to hurt you all the time. Like, I highly doubt that.
Grizzly bears are actually known to attack for the sport, not out of hunger. We actually live in the safe area in terms of bears and their aggressiveness because we live with brown bears, and brown bears are, I think they're just herbivores. I don't even think they're carnivores. So they typically won't attack unless they're protecting their offspring. But grizzly bears definitely will attack you just for the sake of attacking you.
Well, probably not all of them, first of all, but second of all, probably that's just like the dick in the group, like there's people who are just like the dick who are like just gonna go and attack you for no reason, like, yeah, but that's not all of them. Like, but yeah, you do have to know how, like, what do you do? I don't know. Some bears you're supposed to run from, some you're supposed to play dead, some you like, we don't know, we know nothing about survival.
Dude, I was an Eagle Scout. Did I tell you that?
We're like 89 years ago. Like, what did you learn? Please tell me what you learned.
I learned how to whittle a little car into our go-kart races.
We do need that. I need to add that to survival skills.
You need to add that. I definitely learned that with brown bears, you're supposed to get.
Add it to the, number one, whittling. Okay, brown bears, what?
You're supposed to get big. Okay, you just, right, yeah. Grizzly bears, you are supposed to play dead. You get on the ground and you lie there. Now, I don't know a human being that has that type of discipline, because as soon as I see the bear, I'm out. But one other thing I know about bears is if you can, run downhill, because they're not very dexterous running downhill. So therefore, I actually think I just passed survival training, dude. I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. There we go. There you have it. There you have it. Run, find a hill, run down it in a dire emergency against a grizzly bear. Run towards the downward slope.
But there's no hills.
I know. You're like a flat grassland. Where's all the hills around here? Just wide open.
You're in the mountains and there's no hills. You're like, where are the hills at? I'm in the mountains. Listen. That's
those
just one
bears
thing.
are the least of my worry. It's
they're like on the top of my list. I'm so afraid of bears.
But again, that's the thing. I think we think the things that would be so scary are not the things that you really have to, or even at all, focus on from minute to minute, right? For survival. Like, those would be like the minuscule few things that you'd be scared of here and there. But like, the scarier thing is like, just like, what if I don't catch my food for breakfast? And now it's lunchtime. I got to catch some more food. And now it's dinner. I got to catch some more. It's like nonstop finding food. And then like,
that's your first problem, is identifying breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You need to just get you some food. Because if you're out surviving and you're able to actually keep a breakfast, lunch, and dinner schedule, you suck. So listen, I personally only eat like 1.5 times a day. So if I could actually just kill my food and cook it, I'm actually pretty golden if I could just fill myself up one good time. And
right,
then snack
but
on
that's
like
now
you're
going to consider one good time. So what's that? Like at least like a whole big squirrel or something, right? Or a bunny, or like every day. It's not just
I ain't
one
killing
day.
no rabbits. I ain't killing no rabbits.
Wow.
Too cute.
I mean, I don't want to kill a rabbit, but I mean, if I'm starving, I'm sorry, rabbit.
Those would be like the hardest things to kill, because you'd actually have to catch them. Because I'm assuming we're talking about survival skills with no guns.
Well, you gotta build traps. Like, I don't know. This is another added to the survival skills, like animal traps. Like, how do you make these? How do you catch the animal? Once you have the animal, like, how do you cut its skin off? I mean, it sounds so sad, but you
Oh,
gotta
that's easy. I mean, you
gotta
just
get this.
peel the skin back. It just peels off.
No, like it just
But listen,
peel. It doesn't just peel.
I
There's no.
really feel like we could cut out like half of our issues right now if we just became vegan. Then we don't have to kill any animals. We
And I'm
can just
eating
figure out which berries to eat.
sticks and bushes and berries all day.
We'd be the healthiest isolated people ever. There'd be nobody else around and we'd have 8-pack abs.
They find this island of people that are just beautiful.
Just beautiful
Wow.
that never see anybody.
And
ever.
the rest of the world would hate them. They would just hate it. Oh no, veganism. No. Like, look at how wonderful they are. That's terrible. That's like how our world is, right? Like they're so healthy. They're doing something wrong. It's wrong. They must be drinking 37 glasses of water a day. It's terrible.
I was about to say that unholiest of words that got us banned. Just because.
Don't
Random.
Say it.
Okay,
Don't
fine.
say
I
it.
won't say it. Listen, back to survival skills. Listen, I think that we're doing a little too much trying to trap squirrels and rabbits because they're not going to feed us long anyway, right? So we need to take down the big game. We need to be killing cows.
How about there's gonna be cows on our island? Like, where's
Just,
the cows?
we're on an island? I
I
thought we were
don't
just
know,
in
we're-
California.
Oh, okay. That's true.
If we're in California, all we got to do is walk up the 5 freeway, dude, and there's a billion cows.
If we can get a fenced in cow, that's very easy to hunt. Like I can
We
do
don't
that.
have to fence them
Even
in.
I can do that. I can just like, slice a neck. They don't even run very fast. Like they're just like, hey, and they want to.
I guarantee you're not just going to get up to a cow and slice the neck. I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen.
So,
But if it does, I'm with you on that.
and not only that, but like consider this. Like, so then what? You have the whole cow. How are you gonna preserve the meat? Well, what are you gonna like?
You got to just hang it up. You got to just like, get it, cut it up, hang it up. Beef jerky for days, dude.
No bear or other animals gonna get that. They're just gonna hang there. And it's gonna be
Off
safe.
the 5 freeway? Nah, ain't no bears out there.
How are we off the 5 free? I'm talking about in the middle of nowhere. And like,
That is the middle of nowhere.
no, like this is survival. Like this is all the stuff that like we never have to think about. Like you ever just think about like how easy it is? We just show up at the grocery store and there's food.
So
like
check this out.
we have it so easy.
Yeah, but check this out. We're having this conversation right now, you and I, and all this stuff is coming back to my head. Like another fun fact. Did you know that you can season meat with gunpowder?
What? And you eat
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Gunpowder is edible?
Gunpowder. Dude, little gunpowder, couple T-bone steaks. We're good to go. High five.
Wow.
Yeah, see, Eagle Scout. Eagle Scout. You better ask somebody. I was a Weebelo. I was an Eagle Scout. I'm awesome. You just hang with me, I'm telling you.
Okay. So this is considering we have to have guns and then gunpowder.
Well, no, we just need gunpowder. We don't have to have guns.
We have to have gunpowder. Like, I mean, again, this is requiring things where how do you just live out?
Nichoel, nobody just
wild?
lives with their hands and feet and I mean, come on.
Somebody
not doing
did.
this.
Somebody started us all on all this, right? They didn't.
Yeah, the life expectancy was like 18.
They didn't make it they didn't come into the world with $8 million homes and a pool in the backyard. Like
They did.
they did not. When the world evolved, they different tribes.
Listen. Let me tell you right now. Nobody gets through without weapons. You gotta have some we gotta have some weapons, dude. We gotta have spears.
So that's survival skills. How we gotta learn how to make shanks. Like how do you make stuff?
Shanks. That's a prison term, dear. We don't need no shanks in the wild. We need knives. We need.
Well, you gotta learn how to make them.
Well, we know how to make knives, we don't know how to make knives because we don't. You would need the machinery to make a knife, right?
But I'm saying, but we don't have machines.
Right. So we would break down some tree branches.
Okay.
And we would start whittling spears.
Oh, look at it. Your whittling comes. It is a good skill. You gotta whittle the tree to make some.
The only problem is you whittle stuff with a knife. So you got to give us something going into this thing. We can't just go in like naked and afraid.
Is that what they do on that show? Like literally nothing?
I don't know. I've never watched it.
Oh, okay. I heard about that show where they have to go out in the wild, but at least they go with somebody, right? On Naked and Afraid, isn't it like two of them at once? Like the idea I think that was cool about this one about Alone is just that it's infinitely harder literally being alone. Like if you and
Well,
your
the way
whole
you're
family,
setting it up is ridiculously hard.
yeah, well, that's what they were doing. You
Because
know,
we
like,
have nothing. So where do we start?
okay, so let's say we can have one knife.
Yes, we need a knife, and it has to be 12 inches.
Why? What does that matter?
Because I just need at least a foot.
Okay,
It
because if
can't
we
be
have a
like a
knife,
Swiss Army knife.
we can kill things and we can whittle things to kill other things.
I'll whittle, you kill. Female like animals in the wild typically do the hunting.
Yeah, because females are bosses. That's why.
No, it's because we send you out to bring it back, and then we cook it and prepare it.
And then you eat it. Yeah, while we
And
do
eat
all,
it.
we take care of the kids and
And
then
sleep
go
for the rest of
hunt.
the day.
And
Yes.
then okay, yeah, it's about the same. I mean, it's just literally about the same. So I mean, it makes sense. We need to start a survival school. Like we'll start it. It started like it's going to be so good because we don't even know what we're doing. So it's like people can learn with us, you know, like
you literally just guaranteed we'd have nobody in our school.
no, that's not true. Like people, you know, you don't want to go to some place where like they know everything, you know, you want to learn together. And then we're going to go out in some woods and we're going to learn how to, and like, how about like making shelter? Have you seen these people that can make like things out of like dirt and clay with their hands, like out in the wood, like,
listen, if you gave me enough like palm fronds and wood, I could erect a structure.
But you have to work with what you got. Like no one's going to give you supplies. You got to like,
I can't knock trees down by myself, Nicole. I can't like, you know, we got to have some assistance here.
See, you're sounding like us who are so sheltered. Like somebody gotta help me, but nobody's coming to help us. we have to learn how to survive.
Like, I sound like Dave Chappelle when I said it. Somebody's gotta help me.
Just survive. I will find you. Like we have to survive. Like you can't, no one's coming to save you. So we have to, but that's the thing. Like, how do we learn those? I feel like we're doing ourselves a disservice. So we become so soft.
Okay, and now I need you to pick a place right now. Pick a place. Where are we doing this?
It's got to be like in the middle of woods somewhere, right? Where
okay, so
no one's around. No one's around us for it. Just like on this show, right? Like, you got to have space where there's no interference. You got to be at least like 5 miles in the woods or something.
So we basically need to go to like Alaska, okay?
No, I mean Minnesota has tons of woods. I mean, you can go anywhere, like woods, water, whatever. Like you would have to find water. That's the other thing. Like you have to find fresh water. Right?
That would be our number one priority.
That would be the number one priority. Like, and I don't have those skills. How do you find it? How do you know it's fresh? How do you make sure? Like,
let me just throw this out to you, right? So we find our fresh water. Okay, you and I were out there. They dropped us off in the truck. We found our fresh water. How do we boil the water?
Right.
We have nothing.
Right.
So we're dead. You've already ensured our demise.
So we need a pot. Is that what you're saying? Like, okay, so we need a knife and a pot. But how did they do it before? So did they actually make pots out of clay? Like, how did they do this before we had pots?
Yeah, I don't know who the they is here, but I want you to know that the they's life expectancy again was about 12.
How about there's actual like, you know, tribes in indigenous areas and in deep forests in places not in the United States still to this day that they don't have pots and pans, and like, how do they do it?
They do have pots. They have pots because they make them out of they make
That's what
clay.
I mean. What did they make them out of? They made them out of clay?
Clay. You got clay in Minnesota?
I don't know. That clay is just in the ground, right?
No, clay is a mixture of water and the type of soil that you're using. So
we have so many skills. We gotta learn pot making. We could learn.
This is all on the first night. We gotta make a pot too. We can't go a day without drinking water. Hey, we're dead. Because first of all, think about this as well, right? So now you got me just thinking. So you and I figured out how to make the pot. We got the right soil. We got the water. We made a pot, right? How in the hell is the pot gonna be heat resistant? how do we make a heat resistant pot? So let's say we get the fire started, we got the pot, we got water, but now our pots are just cracking and blowing up because when the fire hits them, that's
They
it.
just melt. They just
Exactly.
melt in the fire.
I feel like we're not gonna be
See, do you
successful.
understand like how hard this is? Like, how
I've
do they
never
do it?
I have never seen a good survival movie or TV show or anything like that where the people didn't at least have a backpack with some stuff in it. And one of the things that I would have to have is a pot, a flint stone, and a knife, because at least I can boil water. Because you can't drink the water if it's not boiled. You're gonna die of some parasitic, thing anyway. So you honestly need to stick with me because I don't know where I got all this knowledge from, but I just have this whole vat of knowledge on how to survive.
So at the end of the day,
with
if
DirecTV.
the zombie apocalypse happens tomorrow, the long and the short of it is we ain't gonna make it.
Speak for yourself. If it happens tomorrow, it's fine because we're still at home and we can still boil water on our stove and we can still eat and we have guns and knives.
Okay, so that's important. So let's say it happens tomorrow. What do we and we know we're preparing for the fact that we have to, get off and get on our own and get off grid. What do we put in the backpack?
So what I'm putting in the backpack, let's just say we could take 5 items, okay?
Take whatever you can put in the backpack. Who cares? Like this
okay,
is
whatever. Whatever I can put in the backpack.
We have this stuff here, but remember, you're gonna have to carry it. Also
Right.
killing zombies and also trying to be safe and also trying to move. So you don't want to be heavy. You don't want to, right?
Right. So what I'm taking in my bag is I'm taking one of my guns.
Since when do you have more than one gun? I knew you had one, but I didn't know you had
more. No, I have 2 guns, and I got them both at the same time. I just inherited them from my dad when he passed. I never used them or anything, but yeah, I have them. I'm taking a gun, I'm taking ammunition, I'm taking a knife, I'm taking a pot, not a huge pot, just a pot where I could boil like 16 ounces of water, right?
Yeah, it really only needs to be like,
exactly. It's not huge. I'm definitely gonna take a flint so I can start a fire if I ever have to.
Where do we even get a flint nowadays?
Like, you could go to like any you could probably honestly go to like that or even like Walmart. You could honestly probably find it at Walmart. It's not
I mean, honestly, we would bring matches and stuff, but you have to prepare for when those are going to run out. Like those are going to run out. You're going to have to know.
I would bring a bag of rice. Okay, so at least I know that I have a couple days worth of a
bag of beans, black beans.
I mean, I don't even know if I want black beans in survival mode.
I'll take whatever. I'll take whatever in survival mode. Like whatever.
I'm bringing a small bottle of hot sauce. yeah. Bring a small bottle of hot sauce.
That's some survival comforts.
Black man, I need my hot sauce. And I think that's probably about it in terms of necessities. I probably bring a couple pieces of fruit, because I'm just rolling in my backpack. Some money, just in case someone's still taking.
I was just gonna say, money doesn't even matter anymore. I mean, it won't at some point,
Okay, well, makes good.
I mean, bring it, but like, what is it? Yeah, like, right? Like,
there's probably some greedy like liquor store owner in the mountains that's probably still taking it. And I'm probably gonna take a couple pieces of fruit, and I think that's it, and maybe like a bottle of Tylenol.
For all your headaches you're gonna get from all the zombies.
I foresee headaches coming.
Yeah,
what are you taking?
I guess that all sounds good. I mean, like you said, you mostly need the knife. To think about, like, is there anything you can bring to help create shelter, like tarp or anything, or raincoat,
in your backpack,
raincoat or something, right, for elements. Otherwise, I mean, basically those are really all the necessities. Like there's nothing else really that would warrant, I mean, medicines, of course, but in the meantime, when you're not sick, you don't think about that. But real medicines that you probably don't have at home anyways, like, penicillin or antibiotics or whatever. But if you come across those, I'm sure those are always like things that you never think about until you actually truly need it.
We're definitely going to break into a weed dispensary before we head out.
Just be high while we're trying to survive. It's like, if you can't be high, what's the point?
You know how valuable weed would be in a zombie world? All the people that would want to smoke bud. We could like just start doing trading for like clean water and
well, there you go.
and meat.
Maybe weed would be the money, like that's what you find. You got to find the things that medicine for sure, right? Like things that are valuable. That's, not a piece of paper, like money anymore, right?
You got to bring the COVID vaccine.
Bring the vaccine so you can turn other people into zombies. You got to bring it.
Oh, that's right. That's how it became a zombie apocalypse, huh? Okay, yeah. But I think that what happens is, Nicole, I think that human survivor instinct kicks in when the need to survive is on the table. I think that's how we roll.
I think it does for a lot of us, and why I say I'm worried for our future is that, when you see a lot of these comments on social media, and of course it's not indicative of the world, right? Yeah, I'm sure just extremes are the ones that are commenting, but I'm like, I don't know if we will make it. I don't know if we will survive based on these comments. Like, I don't know. I mean, it's not necessarily like a will to live. It's like complete fear of death, and I'm like, I don't think that's the same thing. To me, I feel like those are the people that would just die instantly, like, oh, I'm not gonna make it. Like, no, you can do it. I will find you. Like, you gotta live. You gotta fight a little bit.
Who are we fighting?
For life, right? Like, fighting for life. For the beauty of being alive, for this experience that we all get, but that we all take for granted right now, right? In this world of so much comfort, and yet we are so mentally unstable and unhappy. Like, what the hell is wrong with us?
Nicole.
We need a zombie apocalypse to fix this shit.
Nicole. Day one prediction. I feel like, Nicole,
I'm not gonna make it.
Here's my gun. Shoot me in the back. Shoot me, please. Please, for the love of God.
See what I mean? I think that's what a lot of people be. Just like, oh, they just lay down and die. Like, I can't do it. This is too much.
Here's my gun. Here's my backpack. Shoot me in the back of the head.
And watch my kids. Take care of my kids.
No, Esther can do that. Don't worry about it. Just shoot me in the back of the head.
Yeah. It would be interesting though. But I am going to learn some survival skills. That's on my agenda for the next year. I want to learn. I never thought of whittling, but at some point maybe I need to whittle.
Hey, whittling is a must.
I want to learn how to make a shelter. Like, so that's, if you think about that, then you would need like string, you need tarp, or how do you just do it with branches and the stuff that you have, right? Like,
see,
even understanding
like
the sun and like the position and all of that those little things, like,
oh, the position of the sun. I guarantee, like, if you walked outside, you could guess the time within 20 minutes.
I don't know. I mean, I only could now because I know always what time it is, but like all of that stuff that we become so detached from, like the natural order of who we are as human beings, how we actually, really survive. And I think maybe a lot of that is what's led to our like mental issues. I really truly think we're not meant to live in like cities of millions of people right on top of each other all the time. Like, we're meant to be in space and maybe actually working a little bit for our survival, like a little bit, to truly appreciate it. It's my hypothesis.
I don't know if I personally necessarily agree with that, because I think that how we've come to live is just indicative of our evolution. I think what you're talking about probably was true 100, 150, 200 years ago, sure. But today, I mean, I think you're the exception, not the rule, if you find yourself in a sparsely populated place and you're probably a bit antisocial and you know,
I feel
I
like it's
don't want to be right on
random.
top of each other, but I think we are designed to live in community, sure.
For sure, community, but more like villages and tribes, not vast, overly populated cities. I think. I mean, maybe we're getting there. Like you say, it's an evolution, but I don't know if we're 100% there, or at least me personally. Like, as I'm here, I just like long for more space and more. But I still want people around me, but the people that I know and love and care about, not like a whole bunch of random neighbors that I don't know.
Okay. Why do you find yourself feeling that way? I'm just curious.
I don't know. Maybe it's just been a product of all this last year. I mean, I think honestly, I've always kind of felt that way. My dream is having the village, right? But it's just intensifying, I guess, and until the point where I actually do it. Maybe that's how dreams work, right? You just keep thinking about it and until eventually you're like, fuck it, let's go do it. That's how I end up in California. Like, it's in high school. I'm like, oh, what am I gonna do? I don't know. I guess I go to college. I went to college. It's not really what I want, not 100%. Finished college anyways, and like, fuck it, I'm going to California. Like, right? But I thought about it for a long time. Like, this isn't 100% it for me. But sometimes that, those ideas need to germinate a bit.
The next stage is the sparsely populated area,
Village.
The village. Are you gonna recruit people for your village, or you just already have a list?
Well, I mean, if they're people I care about, they're already gonna know, right? And they're all welcome to come and build a space so we can all be by each other. I mean, if you have your village, like, there's not much more you need, right? Like, what else do you need?
Food.
Yeah, there'd be food. I mean, we wouldn't be in the middle of nowhere. We wouldn't be literally in the middle of nowhere. Like, I want a space, but you could still be an hour or less away from a town or whatever.
Okay, well, your town needs to have a movie theater.
You can build your own movie theater in your own village, right? Like, you can build and then just watch movies with people you care about, not with a whole bunch of random strangers.
I like to go to movie theaters by myself.
With random strangers. I do not want to watch a movie with people I like. It sounds terrible. I want to watch it with random strangers. Okay. Well, you don't have to come to my village then. You don't have to. Like, I'm not gonna twist your arm.
We've talked about your village now for 5 minutes. I'm just trying to understand what your village is about. I can't make a decision on 5 minutes worth of information.
My village is about living and surviving. Well, not surviving, because it will be better when you have people and everyone has different talents. So let's say in your village, you all share time and talents, and everyone watches each other's children and pets, and you raise animals, and you have orchards, and you have a lot of.
Are there going to be town talent shows?
You could implement it. Maybe that's your talent.
I want to be the Ministry of Talent Shows.
The town talent shows. That's what you should do. Everyone has a talent. We all come together and we work together. Somebody does hair. Someone's got to get your hair did. Somebody does yoga. You got to teach the yoga in the morning. We got all the stuff.
Is there going to be a church in your town?
You can start. Hey, you wanted to be a preacher? There you go. You could start the Church of Latter-day Village.
Listen. Does your town have its own water supply?
Yeah, we'll have a well on the land.
Okay,
yes.
So once a month we're gonna dump ecstasy
Molly in the well. No
supply.
fluoride, just Molly. And we are very, very happy village. We need nobody else. We just exist in our own little world.
Listen. Does your town have its own weed dispensary?
No, but you could make it. That could be your talent. I don't care much.
Cultivating weed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna grow a strain called Death. Just one puff.
They probably have that.
They probably do, actually.
It's probably not called Death, but they probably have that.
Listen. Does your town have a grocery store?
It doesn't really need a grocery store per se. I mean, when you have,
I need a wide selection of fruits and vegetables.
Well, you can grow every possible thing in the world.
I can't grow mango.
Why not? Where does mango grow? Not
I
here.
don't know. It's tropical.
Okay, so okay, you can't grow mango, but you literally, especially if it's California, you can literally grow almost everything, right? Like everything.
I bet I can't grow bananas.
You can. You know how I know?
How do you know?
My aunt in Long Beach had banana bushes in her backyard.
Tell her I'm gonna come get some bananas. Listen, I bet you cannot grow rhubarb. Actually, I don't even know what rhubarb is.
You
I just
can.
know they make
I
pies
know
out
you
of it.
can because they grow it in Minnesota. They make rhubarb pie.
You would make a pie out of rhubarb in Minnesota.
Yes, it's strawberry rhubarb pie is really good, actually. It's actually really
What's your
sweet.
favorite pie?
Ooh, I mean, I like a good pumpkin. I like a good apple, but I like a good pumpkin, but it needs whipped cream. I like a good apple, but it needs ice cream. I don't really like any pie on its own unless it's like a chocolate pie, like a French silk or something, or banana cream. Oh, I like banana cream. So, anyways, listen, let's round this out because at the end of the day, what we need to focus on is our survival skills.
Well, you have to be able to make pie.
I need to take a class about learning how to work with knives. I need to take a class about learning how to start a fire. I need to
You
take
don't
a
need a
class.
class on that. You just need like 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
It's not hard.
For me, I bet the over for sure. I can't imagine. Like it looks so hard. Just starting a fire with nothing.
It's this motion.
Assuming you have the flint. Yeah. Like, but what if you just have sticks and stuff? Like never gonna happen, right? Yeah, definitely more than 20 minutes. I could be doing that all day probably.
But the class would be 3 minutes. This is what you do.
Then I'm just like every day at the village, like Nicole's still trying to learn how to
Still
start
trying
a
to
fire.
start that fire. Started a whole village and can't start a fire. God bless her.
It's a damn shame.
God bless her.
So I'm gonna work on that. You work on like
The talent shows.
yes, and I'm gonna work on the fire. And
Oh, is there going to be a village poker game?
of course, I mean,
What are we going to use? Not money.
we use eggs,
We use rhubarb.
eggs, rhubarb, leaves,
Eggs. The eggs will be
sticks.
sitting out all night. Ugh.
Sticks. You know, on farms, I don't think they put them immediately into refrigerators, do they? I think they are okay as long as they're not outside forever, you know, but
I feel like that's a health outbreak right there.
see, again, we don't know. We have no idea. You know why? Because we live sheltered lives. Some bullshit. I should have been born into the woods in the middle of nowhere to a wolf.
You know what that would make you?
Tarzan.
You know what that would make you?
What?
A wolf.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, kind of. But
Your
I'm gonna
enthusiasm
learn.
about this is just really infectious.
So I think one show, like sometime in the far future, we should show some skills that we have learned. I think we should work on it, and then we should show some skills. I would like to see something that you've whittled, like recently, not when you were a kid. Recently, I want to see something, and I'm gonna learn how to use a knife.
How do you prove that you know how to use the knife?
I'm gonna show you some skills on here, like that.
Okay. I can't wait for that episode.
Or I'm gonna kill something on air. I mean, one of the two. I don't know.
Possibly yourself going like this.
But I think that's
okay.
enough for survival skills today. What do you think?
I don't know. I mean, sure. If you say so.
If I say so, then
if you say so, then okay.
Next week we'll come back around to the zombie apocalypse if it's happening. But maybe by next week, like the world's gonna be all like roses and sunflowers, and
I'll take the under.
Helpless again, and it'll be fine. Helpless.
I kind of feel like it's gonna be on lockdown. You know, whatever.
Or I'll be starting the resistance. You know, if it's on lockdown, I'm starting the resistance. I got my knife skills, and I'm freedom.
Who are we resisting?
Whoever's locking me down.
Oh, all right.
I'm tired of COVID. I'm over it. So I'm gonna go.
I'm so over it, dude.
Survive in the middle of nowhere, and it's gonna be preferable to all this bullshit.
I actually think the word is preferable, but you go ahead and enunciate that the way you like.
Is it harassment or harassment?
I actually want to punch people that say Harrison.
Yeah. Is it data or data? Like,
Well, I'm a data guy.
yeah, me
Actually,
too.
somebody hit me on that. They were like, it's data. No, yeah, data. And I'm like, no, it's just data. No, it's data. I'm like, all right, fine.
Oh, you know what my kids love their favorite jokes now, because I just saw someone on Facebook do it, is your mom jokes. So now they're always telling me like, oh yeah, your mom. I was like, yeah, I am your mom. That's weird. Oh, that's nice. I'm like, it's all come full circle now. It's full circle. But if you want to reach us, my kids and I will be in the middle of nowhere learning how to survive. So don't try to call me. I'll be back next week. But until then,
I love how you preface that with, if you want to reach us, don't try and reach
don't.
us.
If you want to reach us, don't. You're calling me. Stop, because I won't answer. So
One of the skills that we need to cultivate then would be the use of homing pigeons.
yes.
Yes.
Oh, you know, when I was growing up, my stepdad had homing pigeons. Like not even kidding. We had it in the shed, and we'd go up to our cabin 4 hours away, and then he'd release them, and then they'd go home.
You had a cabin 4 hours away from your home in Minnesota?
Yeah, that's what Minnesotans do. It's every weekend you got to go up to the cabin, and then you come home, and then in the week cabin, and it's like it's a lot. But even in that time, I never learned how to survive. I should have been spending that time. We had outhouses. I learned how to poop in an outhouse, and they're nasty. There's spiders everywhere, and luckily now I'm not scared of spiders anymore. So
you learned how to.
yeah, I mean, it's gross. You would not be able to do it in these outhouses. Like, you would be like, oh my God, I'm not.
No, I already know. No, I can't use porta potties.
See?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Like, I'll literally hold it until I'm sick to my stomach or ready to die. I will
constipated. His poop's just hard inside. I will not let this out. I am not doing it.
I'd rather take a dump in the middle of a crowd of people than sit on a porta potty. Dude, oh my God, have you seen porta potties at the beach? You know what? That's a whole nother podcast. I have stories about porta potties that literally just
all right.
make you sick.
That's a good one. Next episode, be ready. It's a porta potty episode. All right. Subscribe, like, share, push a button.
Just push it. Like, one time, just push it. Why not?
We'll see you next week.
What's it gonna hurt?
Bye, Michael Moore.
Goodbye.